Breaking news, the real estate market is flat AF. Times are lean right now, guys, and that's why I'm folding my own laundry. But what does this mean for us in the real estate business as real estate investors, wholesalers, buy and hold investors, fix and flippers, or just the retail buyer? If you guys want to learn what I think is happening with this current market and how you can take advantage of it, then you're going to want to watch this entire thing. And I'm going to fold my clothes at the same time. All right, so you've seen it. There is a massive exodus of retail buyers in the housing market. Now, I've seen this happen with our fix and flips. The calls are just not coming in. Mortgage applications are lower than they've ever been since the market crash. And there is just some complete uncertainty out there. Like, what is going to happen? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a bad time to buy? And so this is causing some pretty interesting behavior patterns for both the retail sector and the investment sector. So let's dive into each, and then I can tell you what I think the opportunities are in both of these sectors. So let's look at it from the retail point of view. As a retail buyer, right now, we've got relatively high interest rates, which means, of course, that affordability is still very difficult. And you might be wondering if rates are going to come down. And so you might be sitting on the sidelines. And it seems that a lot of retail buyers right now are sitting on the sidelines, kind of waiting it out, seeing if some of the new administration's, I guess, economic techniques are going to have a net benefit on interest rates and affordability. Let's think about it from the point of view of tariffs. The new tariffs are going to definitely increase housing costs. That's from lumber, steel, if you're talking about steel construction, and just general materials. A lot of stuff that goes into a house comes from China, believe it or not. And that's going to make there be a pretty hefty increase in items like windows, doors, flooring. And so there is definitely going to be a general increase in costs to materials right around the board. What does this mean for the retail buyer? Well, I think if you're looking at new construction, or if you're going to take what's going to happen over the next, call it 12 to 16 months in the retail sector, especially for fix and flips, I think it's going to get a lot more expensive. And that's problematic. Now, the downside of that, or the flip side of that, is that you would think, well, if there's no buyers at the table right now wanting to buy homes, well, won't that just cause downward pressure on housing prices, which will ultimately be a net benefit for the retail buyer? And in a normal market, that would be the case. See, in a normal market, supply and demand, if supply starts to increase, well, then what ends up happening? That means that prices have downward pressure on them and they're going to drop. It's just simple economics. However, a lot of these homes have mortgages on them that are really, really good. 2, 3, 4% mortgages. And so again, that lock-in effect is still there. There's still 6.5% to 7% interest rates out there. And so most retail sellers are kind of saying, well, maybe it's just not time for me to sell right now. I want to take advantage of this incredibly low and cheap money that I've got. So what's the point of me selling? And so they'd rather take their house off the market than actually decrease their price until you see a massive reduction. Now, we also see something in the housing market right now with retail sellers where you're seeing a tremendous amount of price reductions. And there's all kinds of YouTubers out there right now who are claiming the sky is falling, houses are continuously being reduced as their trumpet call for a market correction or a market crash. Well, again, guys, they're using small bits of data to paint a narrative or a story for clickbait. Cool, that works if your job is making money from YouTube revenue, but it's not real. So here's the deal. A lot of sellers are coming off of some pretty steep prices. Those increases in price that happened in the market between 2020 and 2021 up to 2022 in the peak, a lot of those sellers still think that their houses are worth what those values were back in 2022. And so when they're talking to their real estate agent and they're talking about listing their home, they are still starting really, really, really high. And so these drastic price reductions that you're seeing in the retail market right now, it's not a pricing correction. It's not evidence of a market crash. No, it's reality. A lot of these sellers, their homes are in disrepair or original condition, and they're not warranted or justified in the price point that they're trying to sell their home at. And so of course, real estate agent doesn't maybe have the technique or doesn't want to really be combative with their seller, so they're not getting into it and saying,
"No, sir, or ma'am, you're out of your mind wanting to sell this house for $1 million. This house is only worth $600,000 on today's market in this current condition."
But they humor them and they say,
"Sure, let's try it, $1 million."
And then the phone doesn't ring. And 90 days goes by and they're like, "You think we need to reduce?" So this is what you're seeing right now in all of these drastic price reductions. Let's look at days on market. Again, because sellers are out of their mind, overpricing, and real estate agents still haven't grown the backbone to really fight against overpricing homes, you've got a lot of days on market piling up. That is not evidence that we have any pressure or cracking in the market. It's just stale. It's just stale. And you can't look at the fact that prices are being reduced and sales are kind of low right now as indications of a crash. It's just a stale market. Now, it is a buyer's market. So if you are in the business of fixing and flipping or new construction, you are up against some competition. And so you've got to do a phenomenal job on your projects. I'll give you a couple examples. I just recently sold a couple of flips that were in areas that had quite a few active listings. And we were a little bit concerned that the market is slow, there's not a lot of calls, we're coming in a hard time, it was right before the holidays. Are we gonna actually sell these homes for what we want to sell them for? But because we priced them right and because our finishes were top notch, both of our flips went under contract within 7 days. So that says that if you still have a good product and you care about your finishes and the quality of your craft, well, you're still gonna have and attract that buyer. So it's making the industry more honest. You see what ends up happening in markets where there's an extreme amount of heat, you get those fly-by-nighters who come in and say, "Hey, I'm a fireman by day, but let's flip houses on the weekend." And they don't really know what they're doing and they don't understand what a quality craftsmanship really looks like. And so everybody becomes a house flipper. And if everybody's a house flipper, well then what do you think is going to happen to the quality of that product? It's going to diminish, it's going to decrease. Well, those people, they're not going to survive in a market like now. You gotta be a professional. You have to know what you're doing. You have to stay in front of the trends. You gotta know what kind of materials people want, the color schemes that are really popular right now, and you gotta cater to those buyers because it is a buyer's market. And no, you are not gonna get away with speculative pricing. You can't overprice your flip or overprice your property in hopes that some sucker is gonna come around the corner and overpay for your home. It's just not happening. So in the retail space, here are the things. If you have a quality product and you price correctly, there's still a lot of demand. You're just gonna need to attract those buyers with the right honey. So that's it, guys. On the retail side, it's not this big drastic problem. We're not headed for a crash. There's no massive correction coming. It's just making the industry more honest. You gotta have better pricing and you gotta have quality product. Now let's take a look at this from the investor side. On the investor side, there is a tremendous amount of opportunity that's available to us right now. For instance, if you are looking at listings that are, for instance, 60, 90, 120 days on market, now is the time, especially for those houses that are in disrepair, for investors to clean up. And I mean clean up. I am making some incredible offers and I'm getting those offers accepted for these types of properties. And I'm just banking on the market getting better in the future. But because I'm using strategies for rentals like co-living, I'm not even worried that I'm overpaying it all because I'm able to force some appreciation, refi my money, and I'm cash flowing on these properties without having any funds trapped in the home. So as long as I'm buying right and I'm going after these houses that are sitting on the market and becoming stale listings, these sellers who are truly motivated and the real estate agents who are also truly motivated to get their commission are starting to listen to our offers. So for any of you investors out there who are wholesaling, fixing and flipping, and if you've made some offers, say in the last 6 months, I would go back and reach out to all of those real estate agents who might have rejected your lower offer at that time and follow back up with them. a lot of them are really receptive to your offers now, and you're gonna get some incredible deals. I went back and I looked at homes that I had made offers on over the last 6 months to see if they actually were still available or if they had traded yet. And almost 90% of them were either still available or had sold at the number or below what my offer was. That's pretty impressive. That means that if I had followed up a little bit better, I could have got a lot of those deals under contract. So for the investors right now, this is an incredible time for us to go out and make some great offers and secure some incredible deals that we can hold for when the market starts to pick up again. So I wouldn't be waiting for this time thinking that the market is gonna crash and there's gonna be a better time to buy real estate. The reality is, guys, is things are getting more expensive. Inflation hasn't gone away anywhere, and we're creating more inflation with these tariffs. Unfortunately, America has been dependent on products from other countries for a long time, and it's gonna take a long time for the administration's plan to actually start to benefit America. I do think that bringing manufacturing back home is a net benefit for the country. And I also believe that what the administration is doing right now is a long game. It's a long play. And again, ultimately will be beneficial for Americans. In the short term, it will be painful. And that's going to translate into material costs, and it's going to bump up the price of housing. So again, if you start and buy your homes lower right now, you're gonna have a better profit margin when you actually put those things on the market in the future and you force that appreciation. Same thing is happening in the car markets right now. For all of those people who are sitting on the sidelines waiting to make an offer or waiting to go buy a vehicle, don't do it. Now is the time to go and make those offers and secure your deals, because all of those vehicles are gonna be incredibly more expensive for the next 2 years. Manufacturing is gonna take time to come here. It's gonna take time to bring the lumber factories over here. It's gonna take time to bring the vehicle manufacturing, the part manufacturers back to the United States. So we're gonna have to continue to import these products from countries that we're imposing some pretty stiff tariffs on. So there you got it, guys. The reality is it's a great time to be a buyer. Not so much a seller, but a great time to be a buyer. But don't expect these crazy discounts. They're just getting more honest. So take your time to make connections with real estate agents, really go after those 60, 90, and 120 day on market listings, and be aggressive. Hey, what's the worst that can happen? They say no. But for all of you fix and flippers, I would really take a hard look at what kind of product you're putting out there. If you're doing good quality work, you're gonna do great in this kind of market, because you're gonna edge out from all those people who are putting crappy product out on the market. And for you buy and hold investors, if you guys are trying to just do the regular old burst strategy, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work. Not at 6.5%, 7% interest. But if you're really interested in a model that's gonna make some incredible returns, I would highly recommend looking at co-living. And if co-living is something you are interested in, there'll be a link in the description on how you can work with me and my team to help you grow and scale a co-living portfolio where we're seeing returns of 25% or more. Guys, if this video was awesome and you liked it and you got some information that's been helpful to you as a retail buyer or an investor buyer, then first do one of two things. In the comments, I want you to write retail or investor so that I know that you're a retail buyer or an investor buyer, and it helps me understand who I should be making more content for. On the other side, if you like this video, hit like and share it with a friend. If you know somebody who's about to make a purchase or thinking about making a purchase in the retail space, the information in this video could be helpful for them. And if you are an investor and you want to share this with other investor friends so that they have some best practices, that would be cool too. And for all of you landlords out there who really want to make great money, reach out to me. Until the next time, guys, I'm Jamil Damji. Like this video, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Back to folding laundry.